Hey, welcome to another episode of the Shato Asha podcast. We're joined here today by probably, at the very least, in my opinion, the absolute GOAT of all time, the absolute greatest of all time, Aditya Parvez. We're kicking off a pioneer series. We're going to talk to some of the people that helped shape BPA. সেই 2017 সাল থেকে আজ পর্যন্ত কিভাবে আমরা মানে organizationটা উঠলো নামলো, all the ups and downs. We're going to talk through all that. And to kick us off, we have the very best powerlifter in the entire country, Aditya. Aditya, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, awesome. We haven't both Rafi Bhai and I we haven't spoken to you in a it's been a hot minute. Like I think I met you Shay January last year.
Yeah, the last
And then
BPC.
Rafi Bhai, you haven't seen him since I don't know
2021 BBC. Yeah.
2021. It's
The year that
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the agenda on paper today, the purpose of this entire episode is just to get to know Aditya as a person, right? What his background is. He has been like the longest standing athlete in the entire space. So we'd love to get to know what's the secret, like what's behind the scenes of like the longest standing powerlifting career in all of BPC and BPA, right? So with that being said, Rafi, I'm going to let you ask the first question, and then let's just get to know Aditya over the next hour or so.
So Aditya, তোমার জন্য question. So the people who are listening to this for the first time, how would you introduce yourself to them?
Me as a person, so if I had to begin somewhere, I would say যে আমার background সবসময় sport related ছিল. Back in the day, I used to play cricket. ঠিক আছে, so cricket school days I would play cricket খেলতে, but I was always into, I had this thing যে after, I'm old enough, I'm gonna join the gym. Because I'm gonna, have a decent physique and, get strong. So something like that. So এরকম পরে, cricket was, grade 8, 9 পর্যন্ত it was there. পরে I was not, attached to it anymore. But পরে I finally joined the gym. And, ever since day one, it was great. It was a very different experience. It was a different feeling. And, that প্রথমের দিকে যে ফিলিংটা যে once you start seeing results, একদিন না গেলে gains চলে যাবে, ওরকম mindset, ঠিক আছে? So I was like very consistent, and even if I missed a day, I would, show up to the gym, and, I would train twice a day. Even, it didn't make any sense. ঠিক আছে? I wasn't competing. There was no powerlifting. ঠিক আছে? I was just a gym bro giant, just trying to, look good, get strong, এরকম. But later, after like the first 2 years of my gym life, I joined Jumuna. So ওখানে join করার পর I slowly started to, meet new people, and I slowly started to realize that I'm better off as a strength athlete. ঠিক আছে? তো মানে I was always, doing compounds, however I could in the, weirdest ways, and, making sure I wasn't hurt. ঠিক আছে? মানে এটা definitely I'm very grateful to Almighty that মানে অনেক ভুলই করছি, but I never got hurt. ঠিক আছে? So but I would definitely mention, Fuad Bhai. ঠিক আছে? These guys were the people who basically taught me SBDs. ঠিক আছে? ওদের ভিডিওস দেখতাম, ওই যে বাংলাদেশ ফিট সোসাইটি এন্ড হোয়াট নট, ওই ফেসবুক পেজ, ওখানে
ছোট ভাই,
right, they were like a whole gang of beasts.
Animal
ঠিক
Camp.
আছে? Yeah, and their unity and the energy they had was insane. ঠিক আছে? they were like pulling 200, squatting big numbers. ঠিক আছে? ওদেরকে দেখে like, oh my god, they're like titans, মানে otherworldly stuff. So ওদেরকে দেখে দেখে I would, start doing compounds. তারপর আস্তে আস্তে, এরকম করতেছে, এরকম, over the years it was just a gym bro thing, just maxing out every other session, এরকম এরকম জিনিসপত্র. But পরে 2018 হঠাৎ করে we had our final, our first platform somewhere we could, showcase our talents.
Right.
So yeah, তখন থেকে আর কি things got real, এক কথায়.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I relate to that so much. যে তোমার স্টোরিটা যে শেয়ার করলে bro, তুমি যে বললা যে starting from cricket and then going into the gym and just basically as the second you were allowed into the gym, you were old enough, right? Whatever that means in the Bangladeshi context. And then you just started going ham at it, right? Like didn't really know what you were doing, but you just started lifting and you loved the entire process, the discipline attached to it, the sense of community in the gym. Like all of those things are probably what keep like it keeps your interest and it piques your interest and keeps it in the early stages of a powerlifter's career, right? Like আমি নিজেও, like I started playing cricket and I played cricket all throughout high school. Gyme jete chaitam, but I think if I remember correctly, there was this one gym trainer in Uttara, and that bhai told me যে তুমি যদি 50টা বুক ডাউন না দিতে পারো, এক সেটে 50টা বুক ডাউন না দিতে পারো তাহলে বেঞ্চ করতে পারবে না. And I was just like, what? Like I can probably barely do like 3 sets of 50 push-ups now, right? I've been benching for 4 years. So that's a little absurd. Yeah, I'm like a barbell touch korte dibe na. Not even just an empty bar. It was absurd. But yeah, man, like we've come a long way. Like just to look back, like Shay 2000, you've been lifting since I don't even know, like 2013 probably is when you first joined the gym. 2014, 15. Like it's been 10 years just about. Like I joined the gym in 2018, 2019, like, but I had to come to the US and then join the gym because Bangladesh gym jawata was just absurd. Like no one would actually look at a scrawny kid and say, no, you should go to the gym. You should eat more. You should lift more. And that's what's going to get you well built. No, it was more like doshta push up dao or doshta pull up dao. And that was just absurd to me. But yeah, like it's crazy to look back upon that.
Yeah, we have come a long way, man. আগের থেকে এখন, if someone sees, someone lifting heavy, they're not gonna go and criticize them. They're gonna think twice. Probably that dude knows what he's doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then the amount of information that is out there, ওই সময়টা এত ইনফরমেশন ছিল না. There was this common notion যে মেশিন এক্সারসাইজ করলে লাইক দিস ইনজুরি হওয়ার সম্ভাবনা বেশি. আগে ফ্রি হ্যান্ড করতে হবে, then you have to switch to machines, right? So question for you, Aditya. So do you remember তুমি যখন SBD start করা শুরু করছো, like how are your first SBD numbers within the first 1 or 2 years of training?
First 1 or 2 years. Okay, so my training would be like I would squat on leg days, I would bench on chest days, and I would deadlift on back days. As simple as that. Because I would always start with the compounds. They start where I would move on to the accessories. So I would just go with the flow, see how my body feels. And one of the days, if I felt better, I would add some weight to it, and that would be a new PR. That was very basic gym bro stuff I would do. এভাবে প্রথম করতে করতে পরে I met few people who were like-minded. They were into strength training. তখন তো পাওয়ার লিফটিং কি জিনিস সবাই ঠিক মতো বুঝেও না. So এরকম we would discuss and talk about creatine, how creatine helps. ঠিক আছে, so stuff like that. এরকম তারপর I even had friends who were enhanced. I saw them getting big, and it took me a while to get used to that image that you cannot get there naturally. Because that intimidating bulky huge figure muscular, so whatever it is. But yeah, but I'm honestly very so satisfied, I would say. Not satisfied with where I am right now, but over the years, if I look back at it, because I've come a long way, and it's been a nice pleasant journey, mostly because I made sure I didn't hurt myself.
You pace yourself well, right? Yeah, no, for sure. Would you say like first year Mode, you were squatting at least like 120 kilos, you were deadlifting at least like 150 kilos? Like, do you think those are like approximately the numbers that you were seeing within the first year of lifting?
First year, yeah, you are pretty much on point. I think I was squatting 120-ish, deadlifting 160, 180, and benching probably 90. Yeah. 85, 90 kilos. Yeah.
Back when benches used to move laterally, right?
Right, yeah. and you would just have to we would end up doing a lot of reps just as warm up, just feel the pump.
Yeah.
It's not just about the one rep. The
Yeah,
pump
it was a
definitely.
power building style of an
Right.
approach.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you've come an insanely long way from those numbers, like squatting 120, pulling 160. You are squatting. If I'm not mistaken, this is obviously going to be bad journalism at its finest, but I'm going to take a stab and guess that you've squatted 247.5 at a meet. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, at the gym, not at the
gym,
meet. At the gym,
247.
247. Yeah.
And you've gone on to pull 3 kilos, 705. That's absurd.
I think it's 722. 327 কত হয়? 327 kilos কত হয় pounds? Yeah.
327 is 722. You're right. Yep, that's exactly it. That is just ridiculous. Like the amount of progress you've made on your squat, on your bench, on your deadlift. Of course, you've paced yourself. Of course, it's a very sustained progress, but you're not stopping anytime soon. Like it's been a ridiculous amount of progress you've made. I don't think anyone out there in Bangladesh has added as much of their total as you have since the beginning, right? And so with that being said, like I would love to I think everyone in Bangladesh wonders, like Aditya keeps getting stronger. Aditya keeps getting stronger. Where does it end? And I want to hear from your perspective that there possibly isn't an end. It only ends when you choose for it to end, right? So with that being said, what are some of your goals going into the rest of 2024?
Rest of 2024, like the pretty basic goal would be just to get better. Because I'm not, this year we are not we're not looking forward to the international meets.
True.
So most of us are looking forward to the 2025 Asians where Saudi Arabia যেটা হবে.
Yeah.
A year the only meet we have to look forward to would be BPC Nats. So I'm honestly looking forward to my redemption this year because the last meet was nowhere near where I expected it to be. It was just disastrous for me personally. So I was really, disappointed at myself, honestly. Yeah. Like that win did not mean as much to me, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward for some redemption and getting some decent numbers. And I've made a lot of probably not a lot of, but some technical changes in my lifting. So I'm still, getting used to it. Because like my bench took a hit because back when I was closing benching narrow grip, it was like a pretty much close grip bench press, but ওটা থেকে এখন fully wide just I'm still taking my time getting used to it. I know it's gonna get there, just a matter of time. Inshallah, just a matter of time, slowly হয়ে যাবে. Squat I'm not বাকি lift নিয়ে, yeah, squat is on the way. It's on the way to get better. Deadlift is it's all right. I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah.
One thing I'd like, sorry, Michelle.
No, please
One
go
thing
ahead.
I'd like to add, whenever I see Aditya's training from an outsider, is he doesn't get greedy. Whenever he starts, like whenever I see his training, it's like he is starting pretty like from like triples, sets of fours, right? And he gradually works his way up to those heavy singles, right? And he just takes his time to build, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't get that. Like you're not at peak strength year round, right? We peak strength achieve করতে সময় লাগে. So he like very patient. Like no, at this point in time in my training, I'm not supposed to be touching those heavy weights. So like I think having a coach definitely helps, but I feel like you as an athlete also has to have that discipline as well.
Yeah, in this case, honestly, definitely, and I'm pretty sure Rafi bhai would be able to relate. Being a very matured athlete, because we have been sharing the stage ever since. So, I've been always pretty disciplined with my training. I never got too greedy. I've been a good boy when it came to listening to my coach. Yeah, because I kept trusting the process. So yeah.
Yeah, like it shows.
It definitely shows. Like the hunger is absolutely there. I think like when Aditya speaks about like his performance this past BPC, obviously there were like a million external circumstances that like played into like everyone pretty much. I don't think we saw a single total like a single national record total be broken this year, right? And so I don't think Aditya is really to blame, nor is his execution nor training to blame exclusively for like him not having hit a total PR, right? I think there's a lot more that happened behind the scenes with like the meet day getting pushed back 48 hours, like everyone's peak getting affected, all of that. It's relevant. Like we should acknowledge that. But that being said, like there is that hunger in him, right? Like you can hear that like he's unsatisfied. There is that champion mentality, but he knows when to take a step back in training. And like when you talk about like being a mature lifter and being able to pick the weights that you're lifting on any given day, right? Like you are not at peak strength all year round, and that's okay. Like oi mindset I think is crucial, right? Like that's what I want. If all the people listening to this, like if there's one thing you're going to take away, take this away, that like you shouldn't try to hit a PR every single time you're in the gym, right? Like we're this probably is more relevant to the people that are just starting out in their first year of lifting, right? Because you want to max out every single day, because obviously newbie gains are a thing and you're going to get stronger session upon session. But yeah, like just being able to see the bigger picture and have that foresight. Jay, ajke, if I can take a step back, that means I can take 2 steps forward tomorrow, right? That is the mentality. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
So আমাদের বাংলাদেশে যেটা হয়, usually we have this one big meet as PPC, right? So তুমি যখন সারা বছরের ট্রেনিং প্ল্যান করো, obviously you talk to your coach about this, like, okay, this year I want to get to this number. Do you test your peaking strategies like midway? Like ধরো তুমি তোমার বিপিসি 1 বছর পরে হবে, তুমি কি 6 মাসের মাথায় চিন্তা করো না, I'll do a mock meet or something, or I'll have a test week in between, just RP 9, 10 max out? Do you do something like that? Like what keeps you motivated? Because 1 বছরের off season.
Yeah, good question. Okay. So I have never done a mock meet in my life. I have never tried anything, just to test my strength, because throughout the year, the way I'm training, there are times when I get to test my strength by not maxing out. But by not maxing out, I mean, not going RP9 or doing heavy singles, or probably not even doing heavy triples. Because their accessories, they're just, a certain part of the year when I know that I'm stronger now. I just know that things are moving, and I am stronger there. I know that, if I can load up a new, number on the bar, let's just say, even if it's by 2.5 kilos or 5 kilos, I know it's there. So ওইভাবে I know when I just, the mid year, it's like probably a funny thing to say. There's this certain period of time, like যেমন every post meet I'm at my worst. Post meet একটা কথা আছে না, post meet blues. I'm like totally broken. I'm just trying to get back to my previous numbers, to be very honest. ঠিক আছে, এখন I'm just trying to get back to the momentum. আর এটা করতে করতে maybe it's gonna be by mid-year or a bit after that, তো তখন I'm at my best, I would say. Takes a while to build it back up and get better and get ahead of it.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you so let's say you are at your strongest mid-year, and then do you start like an off-season-ish training from there and then start picking into a meet?
Okay, so I have been working with a new coach now. So my previous coach would do a very very off-season-ish kind of approach. It would be like beltless squats, sets of 7, stuff like that.
Less
And
specific.
Sorry, what?
Less competition specific.
Yeah, definitely less competition. But this time, so my new coach, we've been working since June. So he took a very different approach. Most of his approaches are very different compared to my previous coach. So he's like, we are still somewhat doing, heavyish singles. Definitely nowhere near, my max out or my previous best. But, we're just trying to get into the zone, because he thinks, while I'm at my peak, we should hold on to it. So yeah, I'm trusting his judgment. Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Yeah. But yeah, with that being said, like I would love to pivot into a little bit of what the larger picture is, because we touched upon that for a little bit. Like we spoke about BPC. BPC is a subsection of BPA, right? Bangladesh Powerlifting Association. The federation has gone through ups and downs since its very inception. Both of you have actually been part of this, right? And you've both like won your weight classes. I mean, Aditya's been winning, and I don't see that ever stopping. He is going to remain the GOAT in my eyes for a long, long time. But with that being said, both of you won your respective weight classes the first 3 years, right? Am I mistaken in saying that, Rafifa? Right?
Mhm.
Yep.
18, 19, 20, yeah.
Yeah.
3 বছরই আমরা তিনজন, আমরা দুইজন দিচ্ছি, yeah.
Pretty incredible stuff. Would love to hear, and Rafi, I would love for you to chime in here as well. Like, I would love to hear your thoughts on the growth that Bangladesh Powerlifting Association, our federation, the growth that it has seen since its inception. And yeah, like where you kind of see it going forward. And like if you have any ideas on like the how to continue this growth going forward.
Yeah, Aditya, you go ahead.
Okay, sure. So growth bolte, so if we talk about the very first BPC, we did not even have a warm-up zone. So we were just there. We didn't know what to do. We were just there to, perform. Amra shobai, barely getting to know each other. It's
Yep.
like an open space, just roaming around. And, we don't even have equipments. We're just barely doing some stretches backstage. And, it was, we didn't know what to expect. So for me personally, I was mentally kind of exhausted. Like, I don't have a lot of patience, to be very honest. So I was like, pretty exhausted. I was like, let's just get over with it. So I just walked up to the stage and I was like, just looking up to God, যে যা হওয়ার হবে, ঠিক আছে? So I still remember my squat opener was 180, ঠিক আছে? And surprisingly, all went great. I matched my, PR 180, 190, 200. Those three were my first three attempts. তো এইভাবে করে করে আর কি, that ওটা, yeah, it was a fun experience for sure. I got to meet people like Rafi Bhai, Adib Bhai, and everyone, like the whole community got together.
Yeah.
ঠিক আছে? But ওটার থেকে it was a pretty boosting start for the Bangladesh powerlifting family. ওটার পর থেকে we started training together, we got in touch, তারপর রাফি ভাই যে metal war start করলো, যে he helped রাফি ভাই আতিক ভাই মিলে they hosted metal war, and it was a great success. তারপর I even did my যে first international meet যে মালয়েশিয়াতে যেটা হয়েছিল, ঠিক
Oh
আছে?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ওটাতে তো
I think.
yeah, that was a fun experience because Uta was like, I mean, the bars are different, what are these? Because, and then you see squat bars, deadlift bars. Then I figured out, it was the other kind of federation, the, untested and other kind, যে ওখানে তোমার এইসব, they use the other kind of bars. ঠিক আছে? তারপর আবার 2019 BPC, তারপর, which was like probably the most happening BPC because of the bike. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the cherry on top for everyone. ঠিক আছে? তারপর especially, honestly, more than the bike, it was more about the crest they made. The ultimate powerlifter title ওখান থেকেই আসছে 2019 এ। So আমার এখনো মনে আছে। So my rival going into BPC 2019 was সাদমান। ঠিক আছে? সাদমান হচ্ছে শাহ সাদমান। ঠিক আছে?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were in touch through Instagram, and then the moment they uploaded the picture of that square, I was like, "Holy shit! I have to win this."
Yeah.
I DM'd him, "Bro, just look at it, because it's glorious." ঠিক আছে? So yeah, that was like insane. That and the way they had it engraved on the the ultimate power, it's like still giving me goosebumps. Yeah, honestly, it's like
Yeah.
a very surreal feeling. So ওখানে, yeah, that was definitely a big milestone. Or that was the most happening BBC as well. Because we were like so close, so close. It all came down to that last deadlift. Yes, taking our phones out, putting in our scores, finding out how much I need. Yes, so yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. তারপরে I had like a lot of plans, trying to I had a plan of like competing abroad at least once every year, but তারপরে 2020 চলে আসলো corona, so that just butchered everything. তারপরে
Yeah.
তারপরে যে করোনার পরে we had a BPC that was like more than we could ask for. ঠিক আছে? এত কিছুর মধ্যে এত কিছু হওয়ার পর নেশন ওয়াইড ওয়ার্ল্ড ওয়াইড সবকিছু হওয়ার পর we still managed to have a BPC, so that was great. Got myself that small gym at the back of my garage. ওখানে গরমের মধ্যে ঠান্ডার মধ্যে মশা আছে, কয়েল দিয়ে এইভাবে এইভাবে ট্রেন করছি, একটা ফ্যান লাগাইছি উপরে, তারপরে একটা ছোট লাইট, just to but that helped immensely, man. Like, not just to get my workouts in but also mentally. ঠিক আছে, কি আর কর, লকডাউন, you don't have much to do, you just sleep all day, eat, and clean up your house, and then at night just get down, বাসায় stretch করে নিচে নেমে পড়তাম, ঠিক আছে, একা একা. Yeah, but there's a different kind of fun in that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, totally. And now that you're, I think, very recently you've been inducted into the executive committee,
Yeah.
within BPA. I would love to hear what your thoughts are, and what the federation overall, what the entire board is thinking in terms of like sustained progress and growth for the federation going forward. Like, what does that look like? Like, are we, for example, trying to reach out to more of the youth to try and get like spread like a wider base so that that can funnel into like really good powerlifters once they turn 22, 23 years old and so on? Or are we trying to perhaps like reach out to and perhaps see more female involvement in the sport? Like, what exactly is the vision within the board?
Okay, so it's pretty much everything you just said. ঠিক আছে, it's the youth. ঠিক আছে, we are definitely focusing on a lot of juniors and sub juniors, their involvement in the sport, and they are doing great, I would say. A lot of the youngsters, they're doing great, they're putting up numbers, which are pretty decent, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
people like especially Mark is one of them. He's been,
Mark really is one of the ones.
yeah, he's been, in a very short amount of time, he's been showing a really good progress. ঠিক আছে, Mark, তারপর রুশাদ, তারপর, yeah, they're like, আর Sami,
Al-Sami's been absolutely killing it.
yeah, Sami has been pretty big, has been making a lot of noise in the back, because especially ও কিন্তু মানে he comes from an arm wrestling background. ঠিক আছে, so it's not easy, fiddling with arm wrestling and powerlifting at the same time. They don't get along exactly.
Yeah. And
So yeah,
he competed.
ঠিক আছে, but yeah, he's been doing pretty well as ঠিক আছে. So yeah, that is there, and also we are trying to মানে nationwide একটা awareness করার চেষ্টা করছি, get people more aware about powerlifting, ঠিক আছে, which is why we had the divisional awards this year at BPC. So প্রত্যেকটা ডিভিশনে award দেওয়া হয়েছে. So I was like, first I didn't exactly get the point যে why. ঠিক আছে, it kind of probably looks funny, but then it was the officials told me যে just to get the word, just to encourage them.
Right.
ঠিক আছে, কারণ মানে
incentivizes them.
আছে, বাট স্ট্রেংথ স্পোর্টেও মানুষের অনেক শখ আছে আমাদের দেশে, শক্তি দেখানোর একটা ব্যাপার, ঠিক আছে, the masculine urge to show how strong you are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
বাংলাদেশে যে জিনিসটা হয় যে বাংলাদেশে অনেক জেলাতেই they don't have access to gyms, right? And as powerlifting gets more and more popular, ওইখানে দেখা যাবে যে মানে the gym owners will serve to the demand, right? লোকজন যদি powerlifting, if they want powerlifting stuff, they will open powerlifting stuff, right? So মানে যত exposure হবে সারা বাংলাদেশে, so বাংলাদেশের আমাদের সবচেয়ে বড় weakness, we don't have the strongest of economies, right? So that's why we cannot do anything we want. So we have made this slow growth over time. So আমাদের প্রথম বিপিসিতে we deadlifted on mats, right? We didn't have a deadlift platform. We didn't have a power rack, right? And slowly now we have power racks. We have calibrated plates, right? An actual platform. So we have made this growth. So আমাদের স্পোর্টসটা যত পপুলার হবে, আমাদের পপুলেশনটা আমাদের অ্যাডভান্টেজ. We have this giant pool of people that we can cater towards, right? এবং আমরা সাউথ এশিয়ান এই রিজিয়নে আমরা যারা আছি তারা খুব বেশি লম্বা না, right? And powerlifting is one of those sports where like that is like short people can take an advantage of that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's easier for those people to fill up their frame and then express strength in a better way, right? So we have a lot of room to grow, but we are making progress.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no,
And
for sure.
female সেটাও ভালোই, we are focusing on that as well. ওই যে for the first time we're gonna have the first female based
Mhm.
powerlifting championship. So I really hope more we have new participants, more people showing up.
Yeah,
And females, I still feel they're lacking the motivation and encouragement.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would love to see like আমাদের যে কথাটা বললা bro যে we're seeing divisional best, right? Like that definitely incentivizes people from outside of Dhaka to also take part in the sport, right? Like Chittagong থেকে we have two incredible powerlifters like Imran Bhai আসেন প্রতি বছর and Shohid used to be very very present in this space. He attempted one of the, I think, greatest moments within BPA history and BPC history as the 260 kilo squat attempt he made. It's such a pity that we couldn't really like enable that for him because his feet were slipping off the platform. He has a very wide stance. But yeah, he's there from Chittagong. I think it's great we're incentivizing the divisional through the divisional best awards. I would love to see a female category for that as well, right? Like, why is it that we should only limit ourselves to the men's best? There should be a women's best as well. Now, obviously, like the start of that is something like a women only meet. I love to see that. It makes me extremely happy. But I think the long-term vision would be to bring women up to the same standard, right? Like, and I'm really, really looking forward to that because like I think that's untapped potential, right? Like ছেলেদের side, we see what we're capable of. We see it in you, we see it in Saad, right? We see it in Tasin, we see it in like Arman's about to hit a 750 kilo total the second he puts together his perfect meet, right? Like he needs a 9 for 9 day for that to happen, but we have incredible talent. I think the same can be replicated on the women's side. So me personally, I would love to see that happen.
Yeah. Hopefully over time, because it's not just that, but they have to overcome stereotypical barriers as well. যে আমাদের দেশে societal কিছু obstacles আছে যেখানে they're not allowed to go to gym. So slowly এখন মানে honestly বাড়ছে, a lot of female side, a lot of them are getting into fitness, a lot of them are working out, which is great. But yeah, we just need to promote more powerlifting, get let them know it's there. That's an option, that's something they can do, and they can get stronger while looking good at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. With that being said, I think we touched upon this for a little bit, but I would love to understand what your thoughts are because we've been speaking about like, hey, like if there's one thing you can take away from this entire talk, like learn to pace yourself. This sport is a marathon, not just a sprint, not just like 100-meter race. I would love to hear what your advice would be, right? Like with all of the experience under your belt, what is your advice to the youth, to the next generation, to the 17-year-olds, the 18-year-olds that are just getting in the sport in their first year? What do you have to say? What are some key takeaways from all of the experience under your belt?
Okay, so it's nothing out of the blue, honestly. Everything, like you said, everything I've said so far. But I would say that they are also letting their friends know that they are a part of something big. So I would say that they know what they're doing. They do their research, educate themselves. These are not and just make sure they're not misleading anyone. Because that's also an issue, because I see there are like a lot of I'm definitely not gonna take names, but
Right,
self-claimed coaches
right.
and what they're like really misleading people, and they're like paying them to get something out of it, but in real life they're just getting something worse, being hurt. And like your powerlifting তো দূরের কথা, তাদের day to day life effect পড়ে যাবে, ঠিক আছে? So
Yeah.
that's even worse. People, everyone has to work regardless of their gender. So everyone has to work. They have to look after themselves. They have families and whatnot. So they have to think about the long run. It's there's a sport, but you also have a life. Everyone has a life. They have to look up to make sure they know what they're doing. Make sure they don't mislead. Yeah, yeah. Just make sure ulta palta যেন কিছু না করে. Yeah.
Right. Definitely don't force feed yourself ice cream every single day going into the rest of your prep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
there's
one thing
there's a
I'd like
million
to
examples.
add.
Rafael, please go ahead.
So it's a kid is starting at 18 years old, right? Just think about the long picture. Think about 10 years from now, you'll figure out your training. You'll figure out what actually works for you, right? And then once you start doing that, working with a knowledgeable coach definitely helps, right? But once you start figuring that out, like your progress just jump starts, right? You make so much faster progress. So 10 years, you'll be only 28, right? That is like your like peak physical strength level, right? Usually most people peak from 28 to 35. I don't know. Powerlifting people usually peak pretty late, right?
Yeah.
So look at the long pictures. This is my message to the youth. Long picture takao, put your head down, work your ass off for 10 years and see where you end up, right?
Yeah, stay with it. Like no matter what, like stay disciplined, stay with it. And I've only been in this sport for 4 years, but I already know that we're not really as a nation, like apart from a handful of people like Aditya, most people haven't even begun to scratch the surface of understanding what they're capable of, right? Like what is your quote unquote genetic potential, your limits? Like you don't know. You don't know until you've tried. So please, at the very least, like do yourself a favor and try.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. With that being said, Aditya, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, bro. Like I think I speak for the both of us when I say that you are the biggest inspiration for the entire community. You are our GOAT. And yeah, man, like please keep doing what you're doing because we absolutely love to follow along with your progress. And yeah, it pushes all of us as an entire country are pushing us forward.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you, and thank you, Rafi bhai, for having me, man. It was great catching up, and talking about sport. It's never ending, man.
Yeah.
We can just go at it for hours, I guess. But yeah, looking forward to having you guys, back home as well, and sharing the stage and platform with you guys. Hopefully next BBC, if all goes right. What do you guys say?
Uh, I don't know about next BPC, but yeah, sometimes within the next 1 or 2 years.
I'll be there. I'll be there in December. I'll represent Illinois on behalf of both of us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so by the way, dude, are you like jumping up a weight class? Are you like in 83s now?
I'm doing my very best, bro, but I probably weigh like 76 kilos this morning, 75.9. I don't know what the pound conversion to kilos would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like 13 days out. I'm trying. I need to go up a weight class because I'm too skinny. But yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah. No, I thought you had, more unfinished business with the 74s. A lot was going on probably.
I won't say much apart from the fact that my total record still stands. Until
Yeah.
that's broken, I'm not too worried about 74. If anything, like I have unfinished business more so with like me being third pound for pound best lifter. Like in the best male
Right.
lifter breakdown, like I think Aditya was second, you were first. Like that's what I'm more so worried about. And I think if I put
Right.
on a little more weight on my frame, I think that's the right way to progress going forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
Pretty much following Aditya's footsteps, like exactly like what he's doing right.
I gain weight too fast, so that's one of the things.
Must be nice. That's a good problem to have, Baya.
I don't know about
So
that,
then,
but
like, how are you guys holding up while, on a fasting and training?
it's been a struggle. So I've been experiencing post-meet blues as well. Like I had my meet right with that one day before Ramadan,
Oh, acha,
and then I took
damn.
like a week off or so, and then I'm like slowly starting to build things back up, but it's been a struggle. Yeah, I'm
Right,
trying.
right. Yeah. আমি এই বছর after a few years, I'm being honest, after a few years I'm fasting this year. So
Mhm.
yeah, but it's not too bad, but I have to, like, my gym is in a mall, so they close down pretty early. So right after, iftar, I just have to rush to the gym, and it's not easy. খাওয়ার
Yeah.
সাথে সাথে I need to, take at least money on a basic day. I would have my lunch around 3 p.m. and start working out around 5:30 or 6.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
my basic. Man, at least 2.5, 3 hours, 3 hours
এখন
gap.
করতে গেলে that would be রাত 10টা.
Yeah. So এখন it's, not even an hour I get. So yeah, but at least I can get the work done. So I'm not, one to complain. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're athletes. Like, our job is to adapt to whatever circumstances come our way, right? Like, so yeah, man. Again, been great having you over. Would love to have you over again in the future. We're definitely going to do a couple more series. We're definitely eyeing a championship series as well. You are the champion of champions, so please expect to come back. But yeah, man, thank you for helping us kick off the Pioneer series as one of the key pieces, I would say, like one of the founding, not necessarily founding members, but one of the most critical members of the entire federation, and the sport overall in Bangladesh. So thanks again for joining us.
Welcome, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
been a
great
pleasure.
catching up.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you boys later.
Peace out.